Ignorance is bliss. It's a phrase that we often hear, but what does it actually mean, and is it actually true? Well, to solve this problem, let's first take a look at the definition of ignorance, or the lack of knowledge or information. When taken in context of the idiom, the saying is telling us that it is essentially better if we are in the dark or have no knowledge about something. So now that we've established what the saying means, let's take a look at some scenarios where this is true. The COVID-19 pandemic has shown us the effects of excessive news consumption on individual mental health. According to a recent survey from citizens in China, a correlation between social media exposure of COVID-19 information and individual mental health was established. Respondents who had a high exposure to disaster-related media content were more likely to develop adverse stress reactions and elevated levels of anxiety and depression. Now, what exactly causes this negative reaction, and why is less news good for us? Well, part of the answer lies in news media itself. Some news outlets focus on panic-inducing and sensationalized forms of reporting in order to garner more views and clicks, all in an effort to ultimately generate more revenue for the company. By limiting our exposure to news media, we would not be exposed to some of these tactics and our mental health would be better off. The other half of the answer lies in the consumer itself and a phenomenon known as doom scrolling. Doom scrolling is the practice of obsessively checking online news for updates with the expectation that the news will be bad. Doom scrolling has become a popular term in recent times, and the COVID-19 example actually falls under this umbrella. The more time we spend dwelling on the news reports or doom scrolling, the more negative feelings we experience, which as a result harms our mental health and generates stress and anxiety. Now, to be the devil's advocate, can doom scrolling be good in any way? A common argument is that instead of doom scrolling, people are actually experiencing the world for how it really is. Instead of focusing only on the negative news, doom scrollers would look at everything, both positive and negative, to truly get a complete picture of the world. And by avoiding doom scrolling, we are only focusing on positive news and essentially denying the existence of negative news. However, this act of taking in both positive and negative news mimics gambling behavior in a sense, and is the reason why doom scrolling is so addictive. This addictive tendency is often used in slot machines to keep gamblers addicted. A gambler would keep spinning the machine in hopes of winning big, even though they experience losses way more than they experience wins. Similarly to a doom scroller who would keep scrolling to find positive news, even though they see way more negative news. This is a type of behavior reinforcement that ultimately contributes to addiction, and the consequences from this addiction generally outweigh the benefits gained from excessive news consumption. With that being said, in the context of news and information, is ignorance bliss? Ultimately, being informed can be a good thing as it gives us some reassurance, but being informed to the point of being overwhelmed serves no purpose and will not change anything.